What if I told you one of Hollywood's biggest legends was a teenage runaway, worked as a waitress, and even her own name was a lie? We're talking Joan Crawford. You're watching Only the Icons. I'm your host, Vince Atkinson. Let's dive right in. So like many of us out there, how did I first learn about Joan Crawford? As you might have guessed, it had something to do with one of these, but that was not really the case. In fact, she was so much more multi-layered, and today we're looking into it.
Look, what did you expect me to do? Burst into tears and beg you to forgive me?
This is a story of Joan Crawford, Oscar winner, box office queen, studio warrior, and one of the most controversial women in film history. Loved, feared, mocked, remembered. Let's get into it. Joan Crawford was not born Joan Crawford. In fact, her real name was Lucille LeSueur. She was born in 1904 in San Antonio, Texas. She was born into poverty, instability, and chaos. Her childhood was rough, to say the least. No safety net, no connections, no backup plan. As a teenager, Lucille ran away and worked wherever she could. Laundry, factories, dance halls. Eventually, she landed dancing in revues, which led her to Hollywood in the 1920s.
All right, we'll dance.
But MGM didn't like Lucille LeSueur. In fact, they said that name was too dirty. So a magazine contest actually picked her name, and it landed on Joan Crawford.
What's that for?
I do that in all my pictures.
From that moment on, Lucille LeSueur was dead. Joan Crawford was born. In the late 1920s, Joan Crawford was the face of flappers. She starred in silent films where she played modern women, working girls, party girls, women who wanted more from life. Young audiences adored her. She felt real, reliable, relatable, and hungry. And Joan was hungry. She studied other actresses obsessively. She practiced poses in mirrors. She memorized camera angles. She treated every movie stardom like a job, because for her, it was survival. By the early 1930s, Crawford was one of MGM's biggest stars. But then Hollywood changed.
So what's the difference?
When silent films went out of fashion and sound came to the screen, many of the silent film stars were out of work, but Joan, she had a great voice. She adapted and took charge. She starred in dramatic roles like Grand Hotel and Rain. She transformed her image from flapper to serious actress. She married actor Douglas Fairbanks Jr., entering Hollywood royalty. But cracks began to show. By the late 1930s, she was labeled box office poison. Studios thought she was too old, too expensive, too demanding. MGM dropped her. For most stars, that would have been the end. But for Joan Crawford, of course, she just took this as a challenge.
And you slut! You're both so consumed with evil.
Joan signed with Warner Brothers, a studio known for gritty, dramatic films. In 1945, she starred in Mildred Pierce, a divorced mother, a working woman, a character fueled by rage, pride, and depression. Joan didn't just play Mildred Pierce, she was Mildred Pierce. And she won the Academy Award for Best Actress. She accepted the Oscar from her bed, reportedly ill, but very much aware that Hollywood was watching. It was one of the greatest comebacks in film history. Joan Crawford was back on top. Now, behind the scenes, Joan was famous for one thing: control. Her lighting had to be perfect. Her angles, carefully chosen. Her face, especially her face, was everything. She reportedly refused to be filmed from certain sides. She enforced strict standards on set and demanded respect. To some, she was professional and disciplined. To others, she was terrifying. And then there was her private life.
Oh, I can be soft on the right occasion.
Joan Crawford adopted 4 children, and after her death in 1977, her daughter Christina released a book called Mommy Dearest. Now, I'm sure we all know that story all too well. The book portrayed Joan as abusive, unstable, and obsessed with appearances. It shocked the world. In 1981, it became a film, ironically turning Joan Crawford into a pop culture villain, complete with over-the-top performances and quotable moments.
No wire hangers ever!
But here's the thing, other people who knew Joan, including her other children, co-stars, and crew, disputed Christina's account. So what's the truth? The answer, it's complicated.
Oh, no.
Joan Crawford was a woman shaped by poverty, fear, and brutal industry. She believed discipline meant survival. She believed weakness was dangerous. And that doesn't excuse harm, but it does explain the armor. Joan wasn't a monster. She also wasn't a saint. She was a survivor in an industry that chewed up women and spat them out, especially women who aged, who demanded control, who refused to disappear. She built herself from nothing. She fought for every inch of her career. She refused to fade quietly. And whether you see her as a legend, a cautionary tale, or both, one thing is undeniable. Joan Crawford made Hollywood remember her. And she made sure we never forgot.
What can I do to cheer you up?
Let me know in the comments who you'd like for me to investigate next. I love looking into these legends. Now, all of us here at Only the Icons want to thank you for your viewership. We can't do it without your support. Please consider hitting the like and subscribe button if you've enjoyed this comment. Be sure and look for new episodes every Wednesday and Sunday. Until next time, make it a great day.
And smile or we get another boy.